as ministry. So we'll continue from day to day. Business as ministry, part 3. Okay. Today is part 3, and today is 5th of 11, 2025. My brother and sister, the month is telling us I'm hitting. Oh. So now you know one, they make this money, make impact. God's affection for the marketplace. Marketplace, okay? God's affection for the marketplace. Okay, so we are about 6 to 7 outlines where we are going to look. We've been looking into the thing. So we'll continue this morning. The first one, the first outlines for entrepreneurs, businessmen, is context for the concept, okay? Context for the concept. Second outline, um, the heart of society, which is the marketplace. Okay, number 3, we're looking at the catalyst for civility and civilization. For civility and civilization. Okay, marketplace and poverty alleviation. Marketplace and poverty alleviation. Okay, number 5, we are looking at God's affection for the marketplace. We'll be discussing this one today. Hopefully, God's affections for the marketplace. Okay, number 6, second to the last, we'll be looking at the spiritual battlefield. The spiritual battlefield. Okay, the last one, not the least, business as ministry. So, okay, so I will do revision for those that are not in our class. You missed some certain things. So we started talking about context for the concept. So we told us that the marketplace is not just the heart of the society and also the field, but also the final stronghold God intends his people to conquer. So Mr. George, please, I need this. Thank you so much. So business is ministry. That's what we started discussing. So you have to treat it as such. Ministry is a place of service, a place of value addition, contribution, and also as spirit-led entrepreneurs, we are called as gladiators in the arena of creating value in forms of products or services, conquering kingdoms, and also facilitating the wealth transfer as ministry of economic justice. So we have to understand that the marketplace is not just a place of transaction, it's not just the heart of the society, because as what heart is to the body, so is the marketplace to the city. So heart pump blood, the marketplace pump money into the economy. So with and heart pump blood that circulates in the body, the marketplace pump money that circulates in the city, society. So if the heart stop pumping blood, the person dies. If the marketplace stop pumping money, the society dies. So the blood that the heart pumps carry oxygen to the body. So is the money that pumps from the marketplace carrying, of course, carried marketplace pumps money that are moved into the city and society. So we define the marketplace as a meeting point where the buyers and the sellers meet for the purpose of exchanging value for money, either goods for goods, goods for services, service for goods, service for service, sometimes money for money. So the whole idea is that without economic vision, society collapse. So you see, money is like oxygen, because we need money to pay bills, we need money to put roof over our head, we need money to put clothes on our back, we need money to put food on the table. So you can see that you need money to take care of your families and friends. So money is very important on the journey of fulfilling purpose and destiny, because money is a vehicle that will help you achieve your purpose and dreams in life. So the heart pump blood into the body that carry oxygen. So the marketplace pump money into the society that carries economic strength. Okay, so that leads us to outline number. We already done we done the heart of the society. That leads us to the catalyst for civility. So he started telling us that before the marketplace was invented, the men of those days were actually hunting to survive, they were fishing to survive, They were actually fighting wars, killing themselves, conquering kingdoms just to make sure they get their resources. So there was a lot of fight. So I noticed that you have farmlands and you have cattle and all of that. So I'm a king, so I will come to war just to make sure I kill you and carry all your things. So, and men were actually hustling, hunting, farming. So when the establishment of the marketplace, entrepreneurs created surplus for others to make life easy for them. So we said, okay, instead of us fighting, can we do exchange? So you can see that the idea of the marketplace has reduced fight and increased morality. So the marketplace actually created this thing called urbanization, whereby people started living around where people, the center of exchange, cities were invented, infrastructures like roads, ports, vehicles, so that the people that have farmlands and the crops and vegetables, all those things can come to a particular place where the exchange can happen, either online or offline. So this actually increased cultural exchange and peace. So the keynote is that the marketplace has actually built and converted so many people from poverty into wealth, because that leads us to the marketplace and poverty alleviation. What they call the first world country, what they want us to do, they don't want to teach us how to trade. They rather give us aid. So he started telling us that trade and not aid is the answer to poverty. Aid is when somebody gives you something for free. Comes in, I can, don't worry, let's be giving you arms, So the marketplace has lifted more people out of poverty than any other aid systems in the world, because the marketplace creates jobs. Jobs create income. Income sustains the market, and the market creates prosperity. So aid does not transform a nation. Trade does. So what the first world country has been doing is to give what they call the third world country billions of dollars and pounds in forms of aid to provide clean water, medical support, assistance, elementary shelter, and forms of education. This aid package never delivers a country from poverty. So for any country to be out of poverty, he must enable to teach, educate, and train his citizens how to trade. So we start telling us that if you are going to lift a person out of poverty, you must teach him, mentor him, enable him to trade. He who teaches his student not to trade, teach his student how to steal. So you will give a man fish, you feed him for a day, you will teach him how to fish, give him a boat, give him a net, give him the skill set. You have economically liberated that man from poverty so that he can sustain himself. So we discussed so many things by telling us that beggars depends on generosity of other people, excluding themselves from the opportunity to succeed. So begging means you are coming to the marketplace with nothing. I say, I don't have value. Give me something without value. That is begging. So what we need is trade. We don't need aid. This is what lifts a nation out of poverty. This is what consistently keeps a nation in poverty, because too much free food disable poor people capacity to think. When you give a man too much, the man, you have disabled him from taking participation in the marketplace to make exchange, because if you give somebody something the first time, it will create appreciation. Second time, anticipation. Third time, expectation. Now, what we don't understand, if you give somebody something the fourth time, it will create dependency mentality, entitlement mentality. So that's what people don't understand. If you give somebody something the fifth time, it will create dependency syndrome. If you stop giving to the person any day, anytime, it will create resentment and hatred. So too much free food is not good. So if you're a giver, know your limit. Takers have no limit. So what they call the first world country were able to manage to keep what they call the third world country under subjection, because they keep borrowing them money, keep giving them free food, giving them aid, and they're definitely keeping them from thinking, from using their brain. So the Holy Spirit is targeting the marketplace in our generation, because it's the final place God intends to conquer, God intends to take hold, because the marketplace is where trading happens. You want to help a man, teach him how to trade. You want someone to be economically empowered, teach him how to do a trade, how to exchange, how to discover himself, develop and deploy. All of us that are looking at me right now, you may be born empty, you may be born naked, but you are not born empty. God deposited something in all of us, giftings, ideas, talents, creativity. None of us was left without something. God made sure you came to this world with a full package of passion to a part of God's dominion mandate on earth, because you are God's masterpiece, a piece of the master. So your piece of livelihood is a puzzle that will fix to make sure you contribute your value to society. That is why it's very important as an entrepreneur to discover yourself, develop yourself, and deploy yourself. Because all the things that you want God to do for you are already made available to you. All you need to do is to align yourself. Like I told you last time, the difference between being reactive and proactive. God is not reactive. God is always proactive. How am I sure? He keeps telling us before the foundation of the world, he was slain. That means before everything happened, God already played everything. So God already provided every resource available for me and you. All we need to do is become resourceful to see. For example, if I ask God to give me this marker, God did not intend to give to me initially. I said, God, cry. I said, God, give me marker, because money is not emotionally driven. Money doesn't respond to cry. Money doesn't respond to principles and laws. If I cry and God give to me, He didn't want to give to me because I cried. That means He's reacting. But God doesn't behave like God responds. God really put everything available for you. So when I asking God is to ask Him to open your eyes to the understanding to see the resource so you can align. All those things are very available. So that is when if you are crying, the market is already, but you did not see it. And God says, see, the market is already. That means the market was already there before you start crying. So you just simply align to see the resources and potentials are already embedded in you, already made available for you. So what happens is that the marketplace is very, very interesting because you don't know how to exchange value for value, goods for goods. So that means you'll be struggling thinking that I don't have anything now. God, can you see I'm useless and out of use, which is not true. All of us have to exchange the marketplace. So yesterday we stopped by talking about the marketplace and poverty alleviation. You want people to succeed and excel, teach them how to trade, not aid. Aid does never lift a man, never lift people out of poverty, only trading. So let's continue from day to day. Let's write God's affection for the marketplace. Let's begin to discuss God's affection for the marketplace. I will come to business as ministries. When I come to that point, at least I've laid a lot of foundation, build pillars, cast it very well, use 20 rod. So you can imagine your life, how your life is going to be very strong. And you survive in any economy. You become the ultimate powerful version of yourself. Anywhere you go, anything you touch turns into gold. So let's begin to look at God's affection for the marketplace. Before I talk about God's affection for the marketplace, I need to draw your mind to some scriptural principles. You know, when I'm talking to this set of people in the whole world, in Christian entrepreneurs, I always like to find a common ground where everybody can accept. Once you can agree on something with me, then we can start building from there. So the only common ground I found throughout the history that people agree with me, Christian entrepreneurs, is the scripture. When I go to school, they agree with me, so we can start talking. You can now bring the lessons there, apply in today's world to be able to liberate and empower ourselves for the good work. So let's begin to look at God's affection. So before I go there, I have some things to write so that when I start talking about it, it's going to make sense to you. Let's write this on a note. God's value entrepreneurs, producers and creators. God values entrepreneurs, producers and creators. God value entrepreneurs. God value entrepreneurs, producers and creators. Why does God value entrepreneurs, producers and creators? Because we're actually doing the God's doing. I need to clean this up, so I don't think we are going here today. Okay, let me clean this one because we have a lot to write today. God value entrepreneurs, producers, and creators. I've been singing like song. There are three things God created in Genesis. The first one, God created the creation. Creation, He said, let there be what? Light. Let there be firmament. Let there be this. So, number two, God created the creatures. They're not creatures. He said, let the earth bring forth its kind. Let the water bring forth its kind. So, number three, God created the creator. They're not creator. He said, let us create man in our image and likeness. They're not likeness. So, the image of God is natural. They're not natural. The likeness of God comes through. This is natural. The likeness of God comes through teachings, come through trainings, come through mentoring, come through coaching. So for a man to act like God, etc., he must act like God. He must be trained, taught, mentor. So if you cannot, if you are rejecting trainings and teachings, you can never act in the capacity of a creator. Say, I'm a creator. I'm a creator. So you are not a creation. You are not just a creature. You are a creator. He created you like Him. That is why God loves. God values anybody who is willing, because all of us have the capacity. Because man's capacity to learn is God's gift to man. Man's willingness to learn is a man's choice. So you should use your brain. Anything, the brain God gave man is totally different from the one He gave to dogs, goats, horses. So that brain they gave to man, we have the capacity to learn anything you expose that brain to consistently over a period of time. How to sew clothes, how to cook a fang soup, how to ride a bicycle, how to drive a car. Anything you constantly expose your mind, your brain to consistently, you learn. So you can see that God value creators, God value entrepreneurs, God value producers. Let me show you what He did. He's the original entrepreneur. Few things I would like you to pay attention under God affection for the marketplace. Before I even go to talk about God affection for the market, let's write it like this. Number one, I still need to clean this very well. So you have not written this just to bring your mind why God value entrepreneurs, but I want to put up some few things here under God's affection. Number one, write it there. Jesus was raised by an entrepreneur. So let me confirm. Jesus was raised by an entrepreneur. By an entrepreneur. Bracket open. Joseph the carpenter. Joseph the carpenter. Not a carpenter. The carpenter. Because the carpenter means you're an entrepreneur. You have other people working for you. So, and because that time carpentry touches, number two, carpentry touches every forms of the society. Carpentry touches every industry that time. In the ancient world, Carpentry was everywhere. So, example, the fishers, the what they call it, the farming, the ships, the carpentry was everywhere. The ships of those days, of course, the tools for farming, the farming tools, and of course, the houses they were building. It is so you see the farmers need a part of the wood to put the iron. Those guys are fishing on the ship. So everybody that was involved in those ancient industry, you know, I will talk about democracy a little bit because the Bible you see was actually written to entrepreneurs in the entrepreneurial world. Democracy happened when the Greek took over. In the silent years, I will give some history about that. So before then, everybody that must survive in the ancient world must bring something to the marketplace. Either are bringing fish. So this guy was the carpenter who was actually a craftsman who actually know how to prepare wood for the ships, for the building, for farming tools, for a lot of things. So he actually was raised by an entrepreneur. So definitely, Jesus grew up in a family where in a business environment. Jesus Christ recruited disciples that he went to the marketplace, not synagogue. So Christ never went to synagogue to recruit people when he went to he never went to temple. He went to the marketplace. Everybody that God has ever used in the scriptures were actually from the marketplace. All of us were actually doing something. So if I let us read some points, I have some notes for you, but let me just do some things here. Number 3. So number 3, right here, 10. Jesus grew up in a family, and a business environment. Jesus grew up in a family where, Jesus grew up in the business environment. Sorry, Jesus grew up in the business environment. Jesus grew up in a business environment where his father doing discussion, a negotiation. When he had his father do transactions, he saw his father engage boys to work. He collect money, do transactions. So he actually was learning. That's why you can see once you are actually taking the responsibility to become the ultimate version of yourself, to become an entrepreneur, okay, the universe just starts supporting you. That's why people that are always struggling the most, or the top 100 richest people in the world, are all entrepreneurs, businessmen. None of them is an employee. Because employees are people that say, God, I don't think I can actually make some contribution. Let me go and be a slave in someone's vineyard. There's no problem working, but don't work for money. You can work for knowledge, experience, relationship to learn. But for money, it's very bad because money is a bad master and a loyal servant. So the idea is that money should work for you, and the strategy is to use leverage, then not leverage. So actually, Jesus Christ recruited disciples. He went to the marketplace and not synagogue and not temple. So he actually recruited fishermen like Peter, Andrew, James, and John. Financial guys like Matthew, the tax collector. So you see, the marketplace is a habit of every society. If I write on your note very important like this, it will make a lot of sense to you. The Bible was written to entrepreneurs it was written in the entrepreneurial times for entrepreneurial mind. The Bible was written in entrepreneurial times for entrepreneurial mind. So I will prove to you that it wasn't for a democratic environment. It was for people who are going to make their contribution in the marketplace. So to trade, to learn is one of your powerful skills. To negotiate and communicate powerfully in the marketplace will give you advantage. So the Bible was written in entrepreneurial times for entrepreneurial mind. Full stop. The Bible was written in the entrepreneurial time for entrepreneurial mind. So most of the people you see those days were actually self-employed business operators, and the exception to these rules were slaves, soldiers, and beggars. And none of the disciples were actually slaves, soldiers, and beggars. They were all recruited from the marketplace. If I write this down, you know, very, very important. God value entrepreneurs who take risk. God value entrepreneurs who take risk to build value system. God value entrepreneurs. God value entrepreneurs who take risk to build value system that serves the need of others. Full stop. God value entrepreneurs who take risk to build value system that serve the need of others. God value entrepreneurs who build systems, who build value systems that serve the need of others. I'll come back once again. God value entrepreneurs who build value systems that serve the need for others. I told you, God value entrepreneurs who take the risk. God value entrepreneurs who take the risk to build value systems that serve the need of others. So, risk takers are history makers, action takers are money makers. And if you're not famous, history will forget about you. So, whether you are born again or not, once you take the risk and say, I want to contribute my own gifting to the world, forget about it. The universe is already backing you. Because actually, you are unleashing God's potentials to the world. Because God, at the world we live, is actually a place of value addition. It's a place of contribution. Like someone just keep taking from the table, taking. He's a taker, he's an eater. So God gives bread to the eaters and gives seed to the sowers. But before you take from the table, contribute your own value to the table. Bring something to the table. Don't just come with empty hand. Nobody climb a ladder with two hands in his pocket. Nobody climb a tree with two hands in his pocket. You want to be a successful entrepreneur? Think of value addition. Think of what to bring to the marketplace. You can see that God actually value entrepreneurs who take risks to build value systems that serve the need of others. So we can't keep talking about entrepreneurship in the present economy, because if we are not waking up to mentally emancipate our people, liberating us from thinking of getting aid every time, help, from taking charge, say, if it must be, I must make it happen. Tell you, I am in charge.
I am in charge.
Because he who controls your source of income controls your life. You want to be in charge, take charge of the source. Take charge and say, no more, because nobody can actually take care of your children better than you. Yes. You are the best. Nobody can take care of you better than you. Nobody can think better than you. You are the architect of your success in life. But most of the time, we lost our sense of identity in the midst of struggles and challenges, midst of life pressure. Those pressures are part of the process. They are not meant to kill you. They are meant to make you stronger. Say, no, I am strong.
I am strong.
So God has an affection for entrepreneurs. I have a special place for them because they play a significant role in the mind of God in the master plan. Write this on your note, very important. The entire infrastructures of the ancient world rely on heavily on the trade and craft of carpentry. The entire infrastructures of the ancient world rely heavily on the trade and craft of carpentry, of a carpenter. The entire infrastructure of the ancient world rely heavily on the trade and craft of a carpenter. So that was where Christ was raised. Can you imagine when Christ came to dwell among men, when the word became flesh, he was raised in the family or where business was going on. So the entire infrastructure of the ancient world rely heavily on the trade and craft of a carpenter. Example, the boat for the fisherman, tools for farming, wood for houses, construction, etc. That is where Christ was grown. That's the way he was raised. So the entire infrastructure of the ancient world rely heavily on the trade and craft of a carpenter. Example, boat for the fishing, tools for farming, woods for houses, constructions, etc. So you can imagine when you don't need to write this on them. You just grow up in a family where business and we discuss business environment. Consumers and clients will keep deals with their father Joseph. Payment was made. He sent his team to work on behalf of the customer and client. God created land, sea, sky, everything you see in Genesis 1 for man. God created God created man to have dominion over the works of his hand. God introduced himself as the ultimate entrepreneur, because the first thing he told us is that God created the heavens and the earth. He said in the beginning, of course, God created the heavens and the earth. So Jesus Christ was raised in the house of a carpenter where creative creators were involved in the business transactions. Jesus never recruited his disciples from synagogues or temples or religious institutions. All disciples were fundamentally from the marketplace, recruited from the marketplace. The Bible was written in entrepreneurial times for entrepreneurial mind. There was no democracy in the Bible, because those days democracy came in the silent years where Greek philosophers and cultures dominated the world. Don't be entitled to government health care and welfare like every other employees do, because if you do that, you hand over the power of your change to the government. So the only thing is this: you want to actually be in charge. That's why knowledge is very, very important, because knowledge makes you unfit for slavery. You cannot enslave a man who is powerfully knowledgeable and has economic resources of finance. Because that's why the government wants to keep you broke and poor. They make inflation, because if you pump money into the economy where people are not mentally emancipated, where people are not empowered with skill and competence to be able to trade, what happens in the economy that inflation will rise. That's why I can see when government borrow money, despite the country like Nigeria, into the country where people don't know how to trade, what happens? Inflation goes rise and everything in the market goes up, and you see the people become worse. The lifestyle of people become worse. I know that the more they pump money and they print money from CBN without no documentation. Imagine a former CBN governor stealing a lot of money. Imagine if it does, inflation goes on, people like become bad the more. Before I got married, a bag of rice, when I got my bag of rice was 17,800 naira. 17,800 naira. But today, it's not even up to 9 years ago, right? Today is 74,000 naira. Yes or yes?
Yes.
So you can imagine the inflation. It's too high. It's like the difference is like times 5. So you can imagine that. So One of my projects was starting last time. I bought cement for 1,100 naira, 100 naira that time. But today, cement is about 10,000 naira. Yes or yes?
Yes.
You can imagine the inflation. This is not even up to 5 years. It's up to 6 years. Imagine that. So you can imagine when people don't know how to trade and they're collecting salary. And you can imagine, I have a staff I was paying at that time, I think 15,000 naira, right? But now it's about 40K. But the things have gone times 5 times 6, 45,000, something like that. So you can imagine, so your salary, everything has grown. Salary never grow like that. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Even the minimum wage, how many people are really applying it? So you can imagine that's why the only solution to survive in the present economy is to become entrepreneur. Because by 2026, my brother, inflation will make Tinubu win second term. Like you see what happened. So I'm telling you now, you need to create, ten or create.
Great.
Because your purpose on H is to create, connect, and contribute. Ten or create.
Great.
Ten or connect.
Connect.
Ten or contribute.
Contribute.
A lot of people don't know why they're on earth. This is the purpose why you're on earth. The purpose why God created you. If I ask you what's your purpose in life, tell him my purpose is to go outside there and create something of value that can contribute to people's life. That is your purpose. It's like a triangle here like this. It's like create, of course, connect, then or connect,
Connect.
then or contribute.
Contribute.
So you are contributing to the society. If anybody create anything of value, product or services, okay, connect with people, contribute to their life, money comes to you. Money does not go to people that needs money. Money only goes to the have value. Turn of value.
Value.
So what happened? An entrepreneur, you create with your mind. You use what they call imagination. Turn of imagination.
Imagination.
To create, that's how we create. It simply means an image nation. So you have an image nation to create. Everybody have this nation. It's called a picture nation. All of us have a nation to live before you live on the physical world. So to use and do what is creating mental arrangement of thought in a sequential order of events. So create desired outcomes. You see that arrange your thoughts sequentially. Stand up and act on it. You see things will start working for you. So that is why God have a special place for the market. God's affection for the marketplace, that he loves entrepreneurs, love producers, love creators. If anything you are creating that's going to improve people, the value of life for people, liberate them, add value to them, make life easier. You got whether you're born again or not. You see, many unbelievers, there are also some principle that they want to create value. They are building companies, factories, skyscrapers, is employing Christians as to work for them as an employee, and they're paying them peanuts because they'll buy you wholesale and they'll retail you. Turn on retail. You don't know what it is? Like buying a bag of rice. You use one come, you're returning it. That's what happened. When somebody buy you, employ you, you're going to buy your time, energy, effort, intellectual property, and it's paying you every month. Small. Turn on small.
Small.
The reason why you pay people salaries so that people don't become rich and wealthy. Salary was to manage poverty. It's like malaria tablet, just manage, not to solve your poverty. It's a temporary solution to permanent problem. And the people waiting for government for 35 years to give pension and gratuity. See, depending. No, now you cannot actually create sustainable legacy like that. Because this life we live, you are coming here to make an impact. Tell them, I'm here for impact.
I'm here for impact.
Touch yourself, say I'm a success.
I'm a success.
Touch yourself, I'm a millionaire.
I'm a millionaire.
You must create legacy. You must live when you are no more on earth. You must create legacy, system and structure. So you can only work when you are saying that, okay, I have a passion for this. Then I need some structure. Tell us structure. Let me even help your life so you can understand very well. See what happening. Professional platforms were platforms for prophetic purposes. That's what God did. Let me write it for you so you can see it. Everybody that God recruited as professional, their platforms were actually a place for prophetic ministry. Right there. Professional platforms. God uses professional platforms for prophetic ministry. For prophetic ministry. Purposes, prophetic purposes. I'll give you some examples so you can see. For example, number one, Joseph was actually used in Egypt. Number two, Moses was used in Egypt. So all the things they were doing, it was a platform for them to create connect. Esther was used in Persia. So everybody, so why can't me and you not use any way we are to actually create add value? Nehemiah was used in Persia too. And then Daniel in Babylon, and so on and so on. I can mention them so because in Babylon. So actually, God actually wants me and you not to come to this world. We need to own businesses, hotels, company, factory, industry. So we can use those platforms because we need resources. Why most people cannot talk is because hunger, they wire them now. Hunger, man, no, an hungry man is an angry man. You don't get joy. But you know you have lived above poverty line. Money is working. You have make money, buy investment, buy asset because the men that God used are actually men who are engaged in transactions, business. You know, they engage in administration, they engage in cattle, they engage in gold. So God never use a lazy man. God never even used any of those employees, those soldiers, those slaves, those. No, He doesn't have business with them. So that should be a clue to understand that for you to be relevant, you must be useful. Tell your neighbor,
Neighbor,
your usefulness
my usefulness
is tied to your relevance.
is tied to my
So the day you stop being useful, you stop being relevant to your wife, to your children, to the community. So you must be useful. So you are not useful, you are not relevant. So you are useful, you are relevant. We only use things that are useful. We don't use things that are useless. Tell anyone, neighbor.
neighbor.
We only use things
We only use
that are useful.
that are useful.
We don't use things
We don't use
that are useless.
that are useless.
If my phone is bad, it's useless. It cannot on. I cannot use it to make call. If it's on, I can use it to make call. Yes or yes?
Yes.
So if this marker finish now, it's not useful anymore. It's useless. Agree with me? Yes or yes?
Yes.
As far as it's still writing, it's useful. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Definitely. You want to be useful and relevant in this world, you must be thinking of trading. You must think of transaction. Turn on transaction.
Transaction.
Balance transaction with transformation. Your life done better. So the purpose of transaction is not money. The purpose of transaction is who you have become, the transformation you get in the process of getting money. People have been engaging in transaction, but they become armed robber, kidnapper, prostitute, stealing, killing. That process, they did not transform positively. They transform negatively just to make money. So that is why God make it rich and added no sorrow to it. So the kind of money you want to have, the kind of wealth you want to have, so it can be transferable, because the essence of wealth is for transfer. So you know the essence,
Yes.
the reason, the purpose, the main reason of wealth is for transfer. So what do you want to transfer to your children? That I keep telling you. A poor man teaches the children what they know. What do poor men know? Poverty. 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 Poverty is not your birthright. You don't go from Forgedo. So learn trade. Because you don't teach your children how to trade. You teach them how to steal. So trading is good. Transaction is good. Balance with transformation. Your life done better. Let me go to where I'm going to. Then maybe tomorrow I'll round up, put the icing on the cake. Let me just start it, because and if I don't start it today, tomorrow is going to be a big wahala. The back to the spiritual battlefield. This is where the main wahala dey. This is the main wahala. Because a lot of people don't understand these principles. And they keep asking as if God hates them. God has always been answering your prayer. Now you don't want to pay attention. Some prayers need process. Some prayer just need you to. It's not like having a mission to first year in school. No matter how much you pray, God, I want to be in final year. The process is that you must finish first semester, second semester, first year, second year before. That's the process. You must have some courses. So we already know that in the next 2-3 years, we already know we have a plan. We are already working towards everything is falling in plan. It doesn't mean that we're not face challenges. We will face challenges, because failure is part of success. We don't quit because quitters don't win. Winners don't quit. So we already know that if you follow this process, very soon the results will manifest. It simply happen. It's like if you don't sow a seed, why do you expect a harvest? If I sow a seed, I know harvest will come. I do the normal thing: weed the grass, feed it, put manure. Harvest will surely come to pass. Yes or yes?
Yes.
All I need to do is be patient. Follow the process. Don't follow process.
Follow process.
Poor man no like process. That the most busiest woman being on earth, they don't like process. That is why I understand them, because you cannot be patient in the process whose logic you don't understand. And I understand them because impatient and instant gratification is the biggest liability of a poor man. Patient and delayed gratification is the biggest, of course, asset of a wealthy man. All the wealthy people understand that wealth must be built through process. You must follow through, because without process, you can never sustain outcomes and results. Without process, you cannot be transformed, you reform. The discipline you form in the process helps you sustain outcomes and results. Help me tell your neighbor, the discipline you form in the process helps you sustain outcomes and results. The Lord cannot sustain the outcomes. I've seen so many shops. This morning I was driving to Unwanyiba. I passed through Unwanyiba, related to Akaro, I just let me check something. So many shops today. What never exists don't fail. People fail. People don't fail. They don't just know enough. So the problem is poverty starts in the mind, settles in the pocket. What starts in the mind, settles. Knowledge is the only asset that changes the mind and the pocket. Let's go to the battlefield. See the war. The real war is not physical. The real war is mindset. It's not mindset.
Mindset.
Sit down. The marketplace is a spiritual battlefield. The marketplace is a spiritual battlefield. The marketplace is a spiritual battlefield. Comma. Whoever controls the marketplace controls the city. The marketplace is a spiritual battlefield. The marketplace is a spiritual battlefield. Comma. Whoever controls the marketplace controls the city. The marketplace is a spiritual battlefield. Whoever controls the marketplace controls the city. And you can shut down the economy anytime. Everybody will be at the mercy of some people. There's some men that develop their ignorance, you know, the economy is not moving anywhere. Now we the control them here. So that is why me and you cannot shy away from this thing. The marketplace is a spiritual battlefield. Whoever controls the marketplace control the city. So, and thank you so much. And there's two stronghold in the marketplace. How many stronghold? Two. I'll mention it so tomorrow we can get a note. That is why my interest for me and you is so that we can grow our capacity, grow our finances, grow our system and structure to take control of these two structure. There are two stronghold, in the marketplace. Bracket open, kingdom. So in the entity, the first one is the gate. Second one is the palace. The first one is the gate. Second one is the palace. The gate, something happened. This is geographically location that grants access. That grants access into the city. Okay, so what happened now is that this is territorial. Like I can see, it's very difficult for the federal government to approve the Ibom Deep Sea Port. Very difficult because Tinubu will not agree that it's a big problem because that is Lagos Deep Sea Port, the port is where most of the goods come into this country. So all the interest of the government is to be there. That's where the crude oil leave the country. That's where they receive crude oil. That's where they receive the finished products. Everything. This is where it is. So for me and you, this is not child's play. This is not come and do trial by error. This is not something you just pray and fast. You must learn the skills of negotiation, skills of transactions, skills of communication, skills of leave small jobs. Whatever you can do, others can do. Delegate. Whatever you cannot do, others can do. Outsource. Do only things you can do. Major on the major, minor on the minor. Don't can be doing things supposed to pay somebody to do because you want to save money. Poor people spend time to save money. Rich men spend money to save time, so that we can do the thing that is needful. Two big strongholds, and we cannot be doing like this now. Because you probably enslaved. The problem is this. I don't have a problem that you are passing through a lot. See, the problem is this. The body that poverty chooses to express himself suffers a lot. The body that wealth chooses to express himself enjoys a lot. My biggest fear is that you hand over this poverty to your next generation with the excuse, wrong, life is very difficult. I'll try my best. Don't try. Do whatever it takes. This is called level of commitment. First level, I will try. Second level, I will do what it takes. Third level, I will do. No, third level, I would. First level is what? I will try. Third level, second level is what? I will do my best. The third level is what? I will do whatever it takes. The first stronghold is the gate. Geographical location that grant access to city. These are territorial powers. The second one is the palace. The palace. The palace, something happened in the palace. This is economic decisions. Economic decisions where authorities controls the city. So my brother, so the access and the palace. So strategically, if you are not in authority, there are some decisions you can never affect in this economy. That is why men like Joseph were strategically positioned to be in authority. Men like Daniel were strategically positioned to be in authority. Men like Esther was strategically positioned to be in authority. So God can manifest his purpose in that kingdom. That's why me and you, we are receiving this knowledge so we can become mentally strong, have integrity and character, because the content of your character will put you in the circle of influence. The content of your character will put you in the circle of influence. I told you, a slave is only a slave, and he can be qualified to be a servant. by skills and competence. For a servant to become a son, he must have content of character to keep information, to be not just skillful. That's why he can become a son. That's why you give instructions to children and give responsibility to a son. You don't give responsibility to a child. You give responsibility to a son. You give children instructions. When will you stop taking instructions? When will you be in charge? I'm in them. That's, you don't even get plan. See, that's the thing where they die. The thing where they vex me. Say some people don't get plan. They don't get where they go. See them say, why are you going to? So run the okay. Say, it bothers me a lot. Okay, this is November. Do you have any plan for this month, financially, emotionally, spiritually? Do you write it? Say yes. Do you write it down? No. That is not plan. It's called a wish. A plan. We must have a plan. You must put a plan with a date. That becomes a goal. Which strategic actions you want to take? Okay, now we are talking about next week, Friday, where I'm talking about everybody personally mentored should bring their personal plan for 2026 to me. Let's discuss it together, because you cannot future in the future, you did not picture. So when they run made busy, I told you business is not productivity, business is not progress. Beware of the barrenness of a busy life. Tell on neighbor, beware of the barrenness of a busy life, because he that failed to plan to fail. So that's the thing. So we must plan to take charge of the gates and the palace. We must take charge of the assets. They're not assets. Not just assets alone. We must also plan to take charge of authority. They're not authority. To control decisions. If you're not in authority, why can we control decisions in favor of our people? Because you live in the hands of the policy, a dating game. No worry. Dating game, the policy is affecting everybody. Have you not been seeing? That is why I say you must be in charge. Say, I'm in charge.
I'm in charge.
Don't worry, I have a lot of notes here. And that is why Satan seeks to control the marketplace, because it gives him the control of the society. So we cannot be shying away. So I have a lot of notes for you. That's why the people in our warfare are not carnal. We are not wrestling against flesh and blood, but against principality powers, rulers of darkness. So we'll discuss that tomorrow. Tell not tomorrow. The marketplace is fundamentally the battlefield. I have a lot of things for you tomorrow. I'm going to show you some strategy, how we can rightly position ourselves, because something makes you attractive. Something makes you, people cannot say no to you. That is called knowledge. So knowledge. It's that by books, Daniel understood that the children of Israel should be out of captivity. How many years? 400 and something years ago. He said that Daniel have excellent spirit that they cannot do without this guy. Because of the spirit that, because what made him excellent? Because of knowledge. No wonder Solomon was asking for knowledge, wisdom, discernment, and of course, what again? Understanding. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Now you're talking to me. So I wish I have the luxury of time. I will come to tell you that when you're engaged in the marketplace for the purpose of adding value, you're actually doing spiritual activities. I want to differentiate most spiritual activities for you, so you understand that spirituality is different from religion. It's two different things. God wants a relationship, not religion. That's why God wants you to be. He wants a personal relationship with you. Say no personal. Say no personal. I will meet you again. Thank you so much, online community. Thank you for joining us today. And I want to give a professional advice. Don't get involved in a business. A professional advice. That to say you can take it, you can throw it away professionally. Don't get involved in anything business without a mentor. You know why? Mentorship is a legal shortcut to success. He that stands on the shoulder of mentors will see far. See you tomorrow. See you at the top. Have a wonderful time.